Welcome. Today I'm talking about the movie Clouds and 3 things that I've learned from the movie and also how to prepare for death. If this is something that you may like, please stay tuned. Welcome, I am Ruth Mejia and this is Ruth All Things Beauty. Here I talk about perfumes, skin and hair care, books, motivation, and self-improvement. The topic of today is something that have impacted me lately because I have recently lost a friend, and I have also recently watched the movie Clouds. The movie is based on real life, about the life of Zach Sobiech. It is a teenager that had a very rare bone cancer that was diagnosed in 2012 and he passed away 2013. The movie, if you have not watched it, is a Disney movie that was launched or premiered 2020. It is I think everybody should watch that movie for real. The way he faced his destiny and the legacy he has left is so impactful. So once he was diagnosed, he was determined to take it on the best possible way. It's not an easy thing to know, especially when you're 17 years old. So the 3 things that I learned is: 1, do not complain, do not regret. It is very easy to say, I know, but once you know something will happen, regardless of your desires or your decisions, of your intentions, if there's nothing you can do to change that, at least take it in the way, own it, and work on it in a positive manner. That is not only help you for you to go through the process and face it and learn from it better, but also for the people around you, the people that love you, the people that you love. The second thing I learned is how important is the support of family and friends. Sometimes we take that for granted. It is so important. So the way this family was together and stick together and try to make things easier for him, it is amazing. And the third thing that I've learned is do what makes you happy. Sounds cliche, but believe me, it's so important. We think about so many things, and at the end of the day, most of the things we worry about do not really matter. So he said in the movie that do not wait until you know you're going to die to start living. And that touched me so much because I've learned a friend very recently. And you will start asking yourself, what if I did this? What if I don't do? It does not matter what you think you could have done. Nothing will change destiny, that if the person is going to die, is going to die. It doesn't matter what you think you could have done to prevent that from happening. It is happening. Another thing he did is he set the goal to bring his friends together in a way that when he was gone, they still together for him somehow. And I think it's something I will try to do for Carlos, and anything similar that I have to face, this is the approach I will love to take. Now, in terms of the dead, there is a part in the movie where the mother has paperwork for the hospital and she was not trying to do it because it's a difficult situation. You're talking about the last days or the last day of your loved one. And no mother is prepared to see her child going first. When I was watching that in the middle of my tears, I remember that when I was in college, I took a seminar about death because this is a taboo topic. We don't want to speak about it. maybe we think that if we don't talk about it, it will not happen. Or if we talk about it, maybe we're invocating it or calling it somehow. It's important that we have this conversation with ourselves, that we get prepared, and that we prepare the people around us as well. And one of the things that I had to do, that it was so creepy, to be honest, that we had to lay in that position, closing the eyes, and think, what will I think? What will I say if I can speak? Who I want to be with me? What will I like that person to say to me? And that is so impactful, because we live thinking, like planning for tomorrow, for next week, for next year. We really do not know if we are waking up tomorrow. So we need to be ready for that. It is easier if we have a disease that you're in bed and you have time to do arrangements, amendments, and things like that. But what if something unforeseen happen and you just die? Are we ready for that? It's important that we try to be. Because the only thing that will inevitably happen to all of us is death. And we're so concerned in having a good life. How about trying to have a better death? So I remember when I was like maybe 13 years old, my brother Elvis had, I found cleaning his room, an epitaph. And it was so creepy, and I got very concerned, because I thought that maybe he was thinking in killing himself. And it says, I remember that, here lays Elvis Mejia, who has had a happy life because he achieved all his goals. But this is something that now that I know better, is something we need to be prepared to. What would like us to have in our tombs? Then I started researching about death and get so curious about it. And for example, there is a region in Tibet where for over 5,000 years, when somebody dies, they let the body be eaten by vultures. If we see that imaginary, we get so shocked. But this is their culture, and they have reasons like logistic reasons, so they cannot cave in the earth because it's a very stony area and things like that. But also they think once only the bones are remained is when their loved one ascend. For example, in my island and in a popular culture, when somebody dies, people cries and they faint, and it's very vocal and very, people gather together, and it was to a point that if a family member was calm and collected, people started gossiping like, oh, maybe they didn't love the person enough, things like that. Then when I immigrate here, I have to attend, unfortunately, to some funerals, and it's so different, because then here what happens is you see pictures and people start remembering things that they have experienced with the loved one, and it's a different thing, and I have seen we adapt to that, But my point is, if you die today, are you prepared? This is the thing. This is the important thing to consider. So back in the movie, the mother was avoiding to have this conversation because they have to fill out some papers for the hospital. And I know it's a difficult conversation, but it's a conversation we need to have. Back in college, I did a seminar about death, and I remember you have to lay and you have to close your eyes and you have to imagine yourself laying there. What will I think? What will I say? Who I want to be with me? And it's so important because we all so concerned in having a better life, but nobody thinks about having a better death. So it is important that we prepare that personal issues, there are amends that you need to do with family members or friends. It is a conversation that you would like to have. Have you been distant with somebody you love for some time? Because are the things that people regret when they facing the imminence of death. Economically, if you have wealth, did you do a will so your family doesn't have confrontations for your money once you've gone, or for your belongings or whatever? It is so important. Simple things like how would I like my funeral to be conducted. Will I like to be cremated? Will I like to be buried? Will I like music? What kind of music? Will I like to be in a hospital, or in my house, or in a home care? If I have a disease, usually it's easier because you can prepare. But what if something like what happened to my friend recently just happened, and it's something unforeseen and unexpected and suddenly? Are we prepared? So I remember not so long ago, every morning when my daughter was getting ready for school, I start, oh, you didn't do the bed, you didn't do your hair, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And one day I said, what I am doing? Because I don't know if I will see if I'm going to work, I don't know what will happen to me, or I don't know, something may happen to her. What if something happens? Is that the last memory I want her to have from me? Of course not. And after that day, I make sure that I kiss her, I tell her how much I love her, and I hug her. Because if something happens to me or to her, this is the memory I want her to have from our last conversation. There is so much that I'm a little like, it's still so fresh that I lost somebody I love. That is hard, but it's also something I think I need to do because it may help somebody. We are thinking about possessions and about things, and it is cliche, but it's true that tomorrow is not guaranteed to anybody. So please, if you have never done it, this is a time where you need to sit and think about this and take actions in regards to this. So if this is something that you find useful, please share, comment. If you have not done so yet, please subscribe. It will help me to grow my channel. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.